Hello and welcome back to the Other Choice podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany, and today with me, my guest is Ken Stults, and he is our Faith Outreach Coordinator here at Right to Life of Michigan. Thank you so much for being with us today.
You know, it's great to be here. I love to be able to talk to churches and pastors about what's going on in their churches with pro-life. So great to have that chance.
Yes, and that is an amazing part of our organization, and it's amazing that you are in that position and helping us do that incredible work. I wanted to take a moment at the beginning of this episode to not only recognize, but to honor the innocent lives that have been taken over the last few weeks in our nation. I'm sure many of you listening or watching have heard on the news not only about school shootings, fatal attacks based from racial hate. We also witnessed the assassination of one of the greatest advocates of our generation, Charlie Kirk. Not only did he advocate for truth in many forms, but he also advocated for the pro-life movement and the same work that we share here at Right to Life. Not only was he a father and a husband, but he was a man and a son of God. And one of his quotes I found really inspiring that I read yesterday, and I wanted to share it on this episode. He said, "When you look down in your arms and you see your child, everything that you're fighting for gets into absolute clarity." And that was just a very moving statement. And yeah, I just wanted to share that because he shared so much in the pro-life movement. I wanted to ask you specifically, when you hear that quote, what comes to mind for you, and how does that move you hearing that and knowing his story?
Charlie Kirk was an amazing apologist who was able to articulate without any animosity or negative aspect what he believed and allowed people to say what they believed. But I think what he said was so true, that when you hold your child, you really understand what you're fighting for. And Charlie fought for every baby
He did.
that was conceived, and we celebrate every baby that was born as part of his heritage.
Yes, and we hope that his work and the revival that he started, especially in our younger generations in Gen Z, we hope that continues.
Amen.
And that we can further that work. And speaking of that work in the pro-life movement, I thought I would ask you, how did you personally get involved in Right to Life and the pro-life movement?
I kind of slipped in the back door. I became a believer in high school. Really had no church background at all. But the more I read the Bible, the more it just seemed obvious to me that God was very much pro-life, very much in favor of allowing each of us to live our lives to the full, because that's why he sent Jesus. You know, I've come that they may have life, they may have it to the full. So he wants every person to be able to live life to the full. So a few years into my ministry, I was a lead pastor at a church in the area, and Sanctity of Human Life Sunday was coming up. And I thought, we should have somebody in to talk about that. And I thought about Right to Life of Michigan and thought, well, they're the gurus, the experts. So I called and talked to Brian, our development director at that time, and said, do you mind coming? And he was happy to come, and we struck up actually a friendship that lasted many, many decades. And the more I heard him talk, the more convinced I became that life has to be fought for. That when there are people who are contending against life in the name of choice, then one has to, as Charlie Kirk would say, look at the baby in your arms. You have to focus in on why, and then fight, contend for that baby. And so that's why toward the end of what should have been the end of my career, I was looking at myself and saying, what what do you want your last thing to be?
Mm.
And I didn't want my last thing to be simply maintaining or simply going through routine functions in ministry, which are not bad. That's just not what I wanted to do at that point in my life. I said, I want my last thing to be something that really matters.
Mm.
And I thought joining in that fight for the unborn, contending for life, would be something really worth doing.
Yes.
So here I am.
That is an amazing story, and I love to hear how you and everyone else in our organization has become a part of Right to Life of Michigan. It's so cool hearing everyone's different backgrounds and where everyone has come from and just how they felt led to join this movement. Was Faith Outreach Coordinator that position? Was that originally what you applied?
Yes, yep. When I saw that opening on the web, I thought, wow, this is it. This is that thing that I wanted to be able to do it and go out one big last hurrah.
Yeah.
So here I am. Hurrah.
Very nice. I know you talked a little bit about how you were involved in your church and how you were a pastor and how that affected your perspectives on the pro-life movement. But how does faith personally shape your journey as you continue this work, would you say?
For me, as someone who loves Jesus as much as I do, I want everything I do to be a reflection of his image to the world. And so I want to be peaceable. I want to be loving. I want to be gracious. I want to be encouraging. And I want to be truthful. And I see that's how I see Jesus' ministry with his disciples and with those who are not part of his team. And so that informs the way I want to participate right now in Right to Life, because we need, I'm more sure of it now than ever, bold warriors who will speak the truth in love and not back down, not be adversarial or aggressive for the sake of that, but willing to be sold out, committed, and stand on what you know to be true.
Yeah. And that is also something that I love so much about our organization and our messaging as well, Life the Other Choice,
Yes.
that we want to approach people and women and families and fathers with the same compassion and the same love, no matter what situation they may be in, concerning an unplanned pregnancy or whatever it is they may be going through. I really love that about our organization, and that's also something that drew me to apply to work here as well.
Yeah. The truth is, nobody's told their whole story. We all have parts of our history that we kind of protect and keep under wraps. And if we can remember that, then when we come across someone who's at a rough place, a difficult place, an unplanned place in their walk, we can have the same compassion on them that we're so grateful the Father has for us.
Just out of curiosity. So one of my fun questions I'd like to ask you, a fun question, since you are our Faith Outreach Coordinator, I wanted to know personally, what is your favorite Bible story, or who is your favorite Bible character that you like sharing about with other people?
Actually, that's a really tough question because I have so many favorites.
Yeah.
I love Paul. I love how articulate he was, how clearly he thought things through, and yet how in the face of adversity, he would not quit. And probably that same vein or that same idea is found in another famous man from the Word that is probably one of my favorites, and that's Joshua.
Yeah.
where Joshua all of a sudden found himself with the job description so much bigger
Yeah.
than he thought he could ever handle. But God just sat him down and said, Joshua 1:9, don't be afraid. I will be with you wherever you go.
Mm.
And that's all Joshua needed, to know that God was there. He fought the most incredible odds
Mm-hmm.
and did the most unbelievable things to lead this ragtag group of a new nation of Israel into the promised land.
Mm.
So I love his tenacity and his commitment and his willingness to just keep on going even when things look terrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had mentioned in a previous episode that we did, we were talking about favorite Bible characters, and I talked about Ruth because she's one of my favorite female Bible characters. Sure. But one of my other favorites is Job. I love the story of Job. I actually just went through and reread that whole book just a week ago, and just hearing how he lost everything, literally everything in his life, and he was still faithful to God. And he said, Lord, have your way if this is your will. And God blessed him.
Amen.
For that faithfulness.
Big time. Big time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the same way just with our organization and other people who we're helping who may feel like they're in a position where they are losing, a life due to abortion, and they feel like they've lost a lot. Just sharing that hope with them, and like in your position, sharing your faith and how that can be an encouragement to anyone who's facing that.
Absolutely. Yep. And in the faith community, when we do it right, that is a place where they can find acceptance and hope and forgiveness and grace and encouragement, just every single thing they could possibly need in order to make that bold and courageous choice for life is found right there in that church body.
Why do you think that it's important, especially for churches and the church community, to speak about the pro-life movement and those topics that sometimes are very emotional or hard topics to talk about with people?
There's a debate about who said it, but somebody said something like, all that's required for evil to prosper is for good men to do nothing. And 37,000, more than 37,000 babies were aborted in Michigan last year. All that's required for evil to triumph is for the church to do nothing. If we don't get engaged, if we don't get involved, if we don't speak the truth in love, if we just decide that it's too uncomfortable, it's maybe too fragile of a conversation, we're going to hurt people's feelings or something like that, then we're the ones who are ultimately responsible for doing literally nothing. There's a story that's told about a true story. A church, a Christian church, on the rail side of a train that took people to the concentration camps. And the train came by every Sunday morning, and they would begin to hear the train coming down the track, and begin to hear the people calling out for help. And while the train came down the track, the closer it got, the louder they sang. And they just sang and comforted each other with those songs until the train was gone. That is a picture of what the church must not do now. We can't just sit and sing and pretend it's not happening. We have to engage.
Yeah. If there are any women out there who may be listening, I know lots of times there are situations where women are in the church and they are given advice to get an abortion.
Sure.
Or they're told that's their only option, which to me is somewhat surprising coming from my background and my faith. And I was always raised in a pro-life home and in a pro-life environment and community. What would you say to those women who may be in a church where they are going there for comfort or safety and they're not being given the option of pro-life.
If there's a lady who is not finding the support that she needs in her church, I would just encourage you to reach out to Right to Life at rightrtl.org, or call your Pregnancy Resource Center, because there are brothers and sisters in Christ who want to provide you compassion and will walk through you through every decision you have to make. They will not make decisions for you, but they will lovingly guide you and tell you what decisions are possible. Because it is your choice. It is your baby. And we believe that with the right help, you will choose to keep it.
Yes. And that is the whole point of our mission. And like you said, giving people a choice. We're not making a choice for women, but we're simply allowing her to be able to make a choice by giving her the opportunity to choose.
Sure. And my guess is that lady has no idea of all the resources that are just waiting to be poured out into her lap to help her with everything from an ultrasound to maternity care, and then materials that she's going to need once the baby's born, help if she chooses in keeping the baby, help if she chooses in placing the baby for adoption. There are so many people just waiting to walk with her hand in hand and to help. She will be blown away.
Yes. And the number of pregnancy resource centers in Michigan alone that we are partnering with to help provide resources for women who have just had a baby or are expecting. And Right to Life, we have over 80 affiliates over our state in Michigan.
Right.
So,
and over 100 pregnancy resource centers.
Yes.
All of us here to help.
Yes, exactly. And if you would like more information, like you said, it is on our website at rtl.org. We have tons of resources for you to get connected. If you'd like to send us an email to that info email, we can get you connected with your closest affiliate or with a local PRC who
Absolutely.
can help you.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Let us help.
And in addition to all of the resources that we have on our website, if you are watching this currently on YouTube, you can go right to our YouTube channel, and on there we have 2 videos called Test and Courage.
Not only the ads really good, but they're really written not for me, some old guy who's already 100% pro-life. They're written for the woman who's found herself just in an unexpected pregnancy and not sure where to go. And it's written for you to say, here, we'll stand with you. Yeah, they're so good. And so you can call, you can text, and we'll respond immediately to get you connected at once.
Yes. And if you'd like to help contribute to our ad campaign so we can continue reaching women where they're at, if you go to our website, again, that's rtl.org, and you click that donate tab, there is an education fund button that you can click. And if you are feeling compelled, if you feel it's been put on your heart to donate to our cause, every amount that you donate helps, and it goes directly into our ad campaign and helping women and providing them resources.
Right now, that ad campaign is not as active as we want because we need to get some more money in.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Yep.
Yes, so if you'd like to help us out in that way, we would greatly appreciate it. And also, if you'd like to follow us on social media, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube. Just go share our posts with people who may need to hear them, or share them on your story. Just help share our positive message. And if you can give our posts a like, if you give us a follow, that also helps us reach more people, and it helps boost the algorithm. So every little step that is taken, we really appreciate it.
The ads are making a difference. We're saving hundreds of babies with the moms who are watching this and go, there's a choice. I didn't know. There really is a choice. I can choose to have this child. I can choose life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would like to end with one more personal question, and this is a fun question.
We'll see.
So,
We'll see
yes,
how
we'll
fun this
see.
is.
I want to know, is there, which Ken and I have talked a little bit about music and our musical tastes, I guess, here in the office on our breaks. I want to know, is there a song or a playlist that you have been turning up in your car a lot lately?
Well, that would assume that my car can handle playlists, and it's too old for that. But when I'm sitting at home and I've got my Bluetooth speaker on and I'm holding my phone in my hand, there are a few songs that are favorites lately. They cycle around.
Okay.
I love Phil Wickham's worship song, "The King is in the Room."
Oh, that's such a good one.
Oh man, that is such an anointed and powerful song. If you need some encouragement, if you need a reason to hope, Google "The King is in the Room." It will not only set your toes tapping, but it will send your spirit soaring.
Yes.
And speaking of toes tapping, I love songs like Leonard Skinner's "Sweet Home Alabama."
Yeah.
I know it may not look like it to look at me, but I love the line dance.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I know. Wow, I didn't expect you to be that surprised. But yeah, I love the line dance.
Yeah.
And that's a great song. Not only is it a great music and a good, solid, danceable beat, but it's a simple song, so even I can remember it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I used to be a dancer. I was actually a competitive dancer for 10 years, so
I
I'm
have
right there
not.
with you.
I am not competing.
Really? No competitive line dancing?
I promise
in your
no.
future?
No,
Okay.
no,
Gotcha.
no. And then in my mellow times, anything by James Taylor.
James Taylor is good.
Oh, just
Yeah.
rock me gently.
I agree with you on that one, James
Okay.
Taylor.
Okay.
I think, so personally for me, a worship song that I've had on repeat lately in my car, blasting the speakers, is "Goodbye Yesterday" by Elevation Worship.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites. And I know it came out like a year ago, but I didn't even hear it until this summer. So it's kind of a new song for me, but.
New for you is what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Powerfully anointed song.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to be dancing on the grave that I once lived in.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah. You know it.
I do. I do.
Yeah. And, well, I will say anything from the 80s too. I do like some classic rock from the 80s. That's always in my playlist too.
Yeah, I'm almost sure that my playlist would curl up and die if I put an 80s song in it.
Really?
Yeah, because there was no good music written in the 80s. It wasn't until, it was all used up by the 70s, 60s and 70s. So I'm sorry for you.
But some of those great bands that were in the 70s carried on that music through the 80s. So
they did.
Where was the line drawn that,
1980.
1980.
1980 was the line. After that, they're all old men.
Okay.
Just trying to keep up.
Okay. Well, one of my favorite 80s bands is Chicago. And
that was a 70s band.
They were a good example of 70s going into 80s. But I did like some of their 70s stuff, so I'll give you that.
And I'll give you that.
Okay.
Go Chicago.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Ken.
It was great to be here. Simply because I love to talk about pro-life. I love to talk about right to life. I love to talk about the difference that we're making because people like you are allowing it to happen. So thanks for your support. Thanks for your prayers. Thanks for partnering with us. Without you, this all grinds to a halt. So can't tell you how grateful we are for you.
Yes. And thank you so much for being here and listening and watching this episode. Until next time, I'm your host, Tiffany, and this is The Other Choice.